Hi, everybody. Justin McElroy, editor-at-large for Polygon.com here, joined by my colleague, my coworker, my brother, Griffin McElroy. Hi,
hey.
Griffin.
Hi, how are you?
But we are more importantly joined by Aaron Greenberg, head of games marketing for Xbox, legend of the game, Aaron Greenberg, live in LA. I assume he's alive. We're very far away. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm great. It's another E3. I think it's my 14th or 15th E3, and somehow I'm here, and we're having a big show, and excited to be talking to you guys.
Just to start things off, how do you guys feel about how Microsoft did for their E3 press conference this year?
Good, I'm betting.
What's your report card for yourself?
Well, that's kind of a hard question to ask us. It was our show. I mean, how'd you guys feel? What was your guys' feedback on it?
This is our last interview of the day. That's the first time somebody's took it and turned it on us.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Aaron.
But let me ask you,
Justin, please tell us.
I was in a plane with a 10-month-old flying here from LA, so the catching up on it seemed good. I watched an 8-minute clips reel on Polygon.com, nice. And it looked very, very good.
No, I enjoyed it, and that actually, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is the thing that stuck out to me the most, other than, of course, the announcements and all the stuff that we're going to get to here in a bit, was you guys really focused on the games this year, and I know that's been your strategy for the past couple of years, but I think this is the first year I can ever remember where there was like no mention of entertainment, multimedia being the main focus for Xbox One, like at all. And I'm curious to why you guys totally dropped that, like how you're finding the balance to do these presentations.
Yeah, well, it was really fun, sitting down with the team and kind of building the show this year. We put a lot of thought into, really what do our fans want to hear from us? What is the news we have to deliver? And we had a lot of games this year. I mean, it's frankly, we talked about this as the greatest games lineup in Xbox history, and we have 7 exclusive titles all coming this holiday, and so we had no shortage of content. So we felt like we were going to fill the show, and in fact, we're finding more ways to deliver more news throughout the week, as well as into GamesCon, because simply we just have so many games coming this year and even into early 2016.
Do you feel like do you feel like these presentations are a good indicator of where a company is headed, or is it just more about what it's the time to talk about right then?
I mean, I think it depends on the company. I mean, for us, we really focused on E3 being about 2015 this holiday, and frankly, our big exclusives. But with that said, we took a different approach to how we kind of built the briefing this year. We really wanted to open, front load some of what we thought was some really big surprises. So open with Halo 5. We know that's the biggest exclusive title of the year. It was great to have Bonnie come out and kind of welcome everyone to E3. But then right from there, reveal a brand new IP with Recore, from Inafune-san and the folks at Armature. Hopefully that was a big surprise and a delight for a lot of our fans. Then reveal backward compatibility, and then after that, the new Elite wireless controller. So we felt like after those 4 things to kick off the show, if we didn't have your attention, then we're probably never going to work out.
Sure. Backwards and compatibility stood out to me. That and early access seemed like 2 pretty gigantic leaps for the platform to take so close to each other. How is that changing things? Is that sort of a strategy for filling in the cracks between major releases, which is always a big problem that we see for platforms at the beginning of their life cycle?
Well, for us, the way the architecture of this platform was built was that, we weren't able to offer backwards compatibility. But fortunately, we have some of the best software engineers in the world working at Microsoft, and they went away and spent a lot of time kind of working on this as a side project. And they basically came back and said, hey, we found a way to fully emulate the Xbox 360. And so this is a huge breakthrough for us. We really wanted to invest the time and effort to go after this because we felt like people spend all this money in their Xbox 360 content, and we want them to be able to play those games on Xbox One. And so the fact is that it launches just like an Xbox 360. The games themselves actually don't know they're running on an Xbox One. And the beauty of it is that because it's done that way, there's no development work required for any of the titles. So we expect to be able to add, hundreds of titles very, very quickly to the program, both digital and disc-based games.
So why, if it is just basically emulating an Xbox 360, why a staggered release? Why not just push everything out all at once?
Yeah, it's a good question, Justin. So
thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. By the way, Justin McElroy, also legend of the game.
Come on, too kind.
Okay, so the emulation, basically the way that it works is we have this emulator and it starts to work with a certain number of titles. And then as they evolve the emulator, they get it to work with more titles, more features. So they're actually touching the emulation software, but not actually touching the games. And so that's one piece, enabling more games to work. And then the second piece is just making sure that, whoever these partners are that make these games are supportive of making them enabled through backwards compatibility. We expect the large majority of all partners to support it. It's a very kind of, fan first, customer first approach. And that's why we think we'll be able to scale to hundreds of titles pretty quickly.
We talked to Rod Ferguson, who's of course working on Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and he was livid about this feature. He said, I put all this work into making Gears on Xbox One. How could they do this to me and just make Gears playable through backwards compatibility? So that may be something you have to work out with him, because he seemed really, really pissed off.
It's awesome. I know Rod very well, and I know Rod actually.
Watch out, man.
Now, today you do.
Today you will know the true Rod
He
Ferguson.
is Viking. Do not make him mad. No, he wants people to play all the Gears games, as many people as possible. I know he's a big fan of the program as well.
So we have the rare, the big rare collection with 30 games. You got backwards compatibility. You've got games like Ultimate, the Gears of War, remaster that we were just talking about. At this point in its life cycle, like, a lot of those announcements seem to be focused on like legacy and preserving it and like bringing that stuff into the present day. Like, is that something that the Xbox team is thinking about a lot? Because this industry seems to be so future focused all the time that like it's sort of a shift in focus to recognize that past and try to keep it current for modern gamers.
Yeah, I mean, I think our focus was kind of in three key areas. One was on having the best games lineup that we've ever delivered in the history of our business. That's driven by the big exclusives we talked about. It's also driven by big blockbuster titles and having, like the partnership we're having with Fallout 4 as an example. The second piece was about really making continue to invest in Xbox Live as kind of the premier online gaming service, and that new Xbox One experience, really continue to innovate like we have in the past on 360, adding in more intelligence, adding in a new guide, Cortana, and all that. And then on the future side is really, I think, what we're doing with both VR and mixed reality with HoloLens. So I kind of feel like we're doing a good balance of those things, but, we're obviously continue to listen to feedback, and we'd love to hear if you guys have ideas of things we should approach differently. We'd love to hear it.
I want to talk to you about Rare, because for me that was the most exciting part of the show, was seeing Rare kind of step into their own a little bit. You guys have obviously had a relationship with them for over a decade now, and that relationship has led to some different things, but I'm sort of excited about what Rare is getting back to now that the focus isn't on Kinect for them so much. They can do whatever it is they want. Can you talk a little bit sort of about how that relationship has changed and what that's leading to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been really fortunate to get to spend a lot of time with Rare over the last year and get out to Twycross in the UK. A couple things. First was they had this great idea of, hey, we have this 30-year anniversary. We have this, we have hundreds of titles that we've made over the years. And how can we kind of take a best of collection and really lovingly present, 30 of our favorite games, whether, you're a fan of Conquer or Perfect Dark, or, I love RC Pro-Am from back in the day, or Battletoads, and, 30 really amazing classic games, bringing those to market, for $30, which is a great value, and releasing that during the summer when, frankly, not a lot of people are releasing new games. We're launching that the first week of August. At the same time, they went away and said, hey, we want to do this for our fans, but we also want to go and create something really new, really ambitious, this massive shared world experience. And that's where they came to us with the Sea of Thieves concept. And we've been playing some early prototypes of it. And I will tell you, it is insanely fun. We had Phil Spencer out to the studio. We had Kudo Sonoda out to the studio. We all have pirate names, and it's been kind of like a fun sort of, one of our favorite sort of internal projects. And we're really excited to kind of share this really ambitious plan. And it is a truly rare game, and I think it's going to delight a lot of the fans, as you've kind of hit on.
Speaking of Kinect, it was sort of notably absent from the keynote. Can you talk to me about the relationship right now between Xbox and Kinect, and are there any Kinect exclusive titles still in development?
So we're continuing to support Kinect in many different ways. I think one example of that is what we're doing with the Cortana integration. We're adding more voice, more intelligence capabilities. But for us, Kinect is really about choice and value. So for some customers like me, I love having the Kinect. I love turning on my Xbox with Kinect. I use it while I'm playing games to take screenshots or to be able to use it to navigate from one thing to another. There are games that do support Kinect, but it's really customer's choice. A lot of gamers are more interested in traditional games. That is what is selling primarily on the platform. And so they're going to choose, in many cases, an Xbox One without Kinect. And so giving people the choice is kind of the key idea. And that seems to be working really well for us.
But in terms of Kinect exclusive games, any that you know of in development?
I know Just Dance is making games. I know there's been some really cool ID games. I don't know if you guys saw the Slice Zombies game. That was pretty fun. So there's games that make sense, but we're not just going to do Kinect for Kinect's sake. We're going to enable it as something that developers can take advantage of. But, if they choose not to, then, we're good with that as well.
Aaron, one last question. Yesterday during the PlayStation briefing, they announced that Call of Duty was the new home was on PlayStation 4. So my question is, do you ever walk past Call of Duty's bedroom at the Xbox house and kind of crack the door, look in, think about
smell their pillowcase on the side of the bed where they used to sleep
think
and
about
just cry?
Man, all the good times, all the exo-soothing, all the shooting.
Okay. First, I just love you guys. Okay. So thank you for.
That's not an answer, Aaron. Have you smelled the pillow?
Provide. Okay. I was not expecting that question, but what I will say to you is.
We're expecting the announcement, I think is the better question.
We were expecting the announcement.
Okay, good.
We obviously, have a great relationship with Activision. We have more people playing Call of Duty today on our platform than any other, and we expect. If you think about it, if you're a shooter fan and you want to play Halo and Call of Duty, there's only one box you can do that on. You want to play Halo and Gears and Call of Duty. And so we think we'll continue to, drive, a lot of sales of Call of Duty on our platform. We're already have pre-ordering happening right now for Black Ops 3, and we're going to support the title just like we would any other big third-party title. At the same time, we've made some different bets this holiday. We've bet on a lot of exclusive titles that we're bringing. We've bet on some new third-party partnerships like what we're doing with Fallout 4 and Todd Howard and the team at Bethesda. We think that's going to be one of the biggest third-party releases this year, and we're excited to have PC mods coming to Xbox with that title. We're excited to be able to have also to be able to offer our consumers Fallout 3 as part of that when they buy Fallout 4.
Let me actually ask you about that real quick before we let you go. How do you go about building a stable of exclusives? We saw Recore, of course, a big exclusive announced at the show. How do you go about that? How do you look at a game and say these are the group of games? Does it work like that? Do you think about it as a cohesive sort of suite of exclusives that you're offering, or is it just more of a take them as they come?
So each project on its own goes off on a really interesting creative journey, and we work with those development teams through a series of part of the development process, a series kind of reviews that we sit down with them, and from early pre-prototype to early phases till it goes into full production. And so those kind of exist on their own, but then as you sort of look at the portfolio, it's very much kind of like looking at a deck of cards and sort of thinking about how do we think about the portfolio all up? When do we think is the right time to launch those types of games? And if you take for example this holiday and the fact that we said, hey, take a title like Quantum Break. We said, listen, we have so many games this year. Let's take Quantum Break. Let's give Remedy some more time on that project. Let's move it to spring. And frankly, it's great to have as a title in spring coming out of holiday. And so we do make moves like that strategically where it makes sense. And we do also think about how does that holiday lineup balance between first and third party? I think, if you look at what we did with Tomb Raider and the investment there to make that an exclusive, this holiday on Xbox is another example of something where it really does fit the portfolio for us. And, we've had a long-term relationship with Crystal Dynamics, and we're excited to have that game on our box as well.
Cool. Aaron Greenberg, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to you at home for watching. We got a lot more stuff on Polygon.com if you want to go check that out. In the meantime, for Polygon, I'm Justin McElroy. This is Griffin McElroy. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.
Are you talking to Aaron, or are you talking to just
everybody? I want everybody to have a great day.
You're talking to me, but if you're talking
Aaron, have a great day. Audience, have a great day. Griffin, great day, man.
Yeah, for sure.